What is going on, everybody? It's Cameron, and right now we're reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man issue 55 with the return of Dr. Otto Octavius. Now, going off the previous issue, we saw a Spider-Man movie being made, Aunt May going away for a few days to visit her mother, and Mary Jane pretty much being grounded for life. Now, some of the things that we're going to see in this issue is, understandably, Gwen Stacy hating the fact that Spider-Man, the man who kind of killed her father, having a movie made after him, and just how she's struggling with dealing with that. And of course, we get a few more things on Dr. Octopus. Now, just a bit of a heads up, guys, to give you something to look forward to. Issue 57 has a massive cliffhanger, and I cannot wait for us to get to it. Like, it is literally huge. For any of you guys that don't know what happens in the series in the future, you will just fly off your chair out the window and like 5 floors down or something like that, because the cliffhanger is crazy. Now, without further ado, guys, let's jump into this review and let's get reviewing this issue. So as we get into the issue, first of all, I want to talk about the beginning of the issue like always. And the panels that you're seeing on screen right now, when I first read these, as the comic was in my hand, I could just imagine Dr. Octopus telling this guy that he really likes his house in like the most sinister voice ever. And you really get the feeling that Dr. Octopus is an absolute badass right now. And one thing that you've probably noticed is that he can control his metal arms without them being attached to his body. Now obviously that's a little bit of a difference from the 616 universe, and that's something unique to the Ultimate Dr. Octopus. Now, I can't quite remember whether I've already told you how he can do that. I think I might have mentioned it in some of my earlier reviews, like issue 5 or something like that. But we do find out how he does it in issue 101. Or maybe it's like issue 102 or 103 or something like that. But I do definitely know that it's like around there. It's during the Clone Saga anyway. And just to point out, guys, the Clone Saga in the Ultimate Universe is so much better than the 616 Clone Saga. So yeah, I'd say look forward to that. So anyway, at the beginning of the review, I did mention that Gwen Stacy is going to find it difficult in this comic to comprehend the fact that the person that possibly killed her father is getting a movie made after him. And to make it worse, Kong, out of their school, actually got a part in the movie, which obviously means that everybody in the school is going to be talking about it. And Gwen actually finds herself surrounded in school by everybody just talking about this movie, about a man who pretty much killed her father, or at least that's what she thinks anyway. And we see her start to get a little bit aggressive. And one of the things that I was thinking about was, her father actually died like quite a few issues ago, like it was quite many issues, I think it was like 20 issues ago or something like that if I remember correctly. So she's kind of accepted that this has happened, that her father has indeed passed away. And now this movie's being made, it's almost like it's done a full circle and everything's coming back to her, all the emotion again, reminding her of the death of her father, especially because she thinks it's Spider-Man that did it. Now, something that I need to point out is that she does actually know that it wasn't the Spider-Man that did it, or, well, it was someone dressed in a Spider-Man costume, so it's more or less the symbol of Spider-Man that makes her angry. It's not necessarily the person Spider-Man, and that's a really good point, actually. That's what I want to bring up. In comics and in Marvel and everything like that, Spider-Man is looked upon as if anybody can be Spider-Man. If you're a black person, if you're a white person, if you're a girl, if you're a guy, whatever. But that's also, well, most of the time we see that as like an advantage, like that's a brilliant thing to be able to do. But there's also a downside to that, because anybody can be Spider-Man. All you've got to do is throw on a costume and go out there and do whatever, and people will think that you are Spider-Man. So the fact that this person has put on a Spider-Man costume, killed Gwen Stacy's father, and caused all this chaos and craziness, that's one of the downsides as to a superhero being able to be anybody. And I don't really think that's touched upon too much when Marvel talk about Spider-Man and how awesome he is and how anybody can be him, but I guess you wouldn't really advertise Spider-Man that way, so yeah. Now, as for the Ultimate Spider-Man comics in general, one of the things that I love about the entire series and something that brings me to it so much is the fact that the characters get really personal with you. Like, look at Dr. Octopus. We're getting to know him on a very personal level. We're seeing his wife, who he used to love very much, turn against him and call him pathetic and a tragedy, whereas I don't think you really see that as in-depth in other comics compared to the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, especially not to mention the relationship that Dr. Octopus has with his tentacles. Like, we saw them arguing back there, we saw them making agreements with each other, and that was just so awesome to see. Also, before we move on, you can see Mysterio on screen, and one thing that I've pointed out to you guys in the early Ultimate Spider-Man reviews was, there is no such thing as a Mysterio in the Ultimate Universe. Like, sure, they've got a Mysterio right here on set of this Spider-Man movie, but in the Ultimate Universe, there is no such thing as an ultimate version of Mysterio. There is a Mysterio later on in the Ultimate Spider-Man series who wears a black suit and has blue smoke for a head, but there's a little bit of a twist. That Mysterio that we see later on is actually 616 Mysterio from the 616 universe. Pretty much what happens is 616 Mysterio figures out how to travel to the Ultimate Universe, and instead of him going there himself, he sends like a robot through that he controls. So really, there is no Ultimate Universe Mysterio. It's actually just a 616 Mysterio that sends a robot to the Ultimate Universe. Well, an avatar anyway. Anyway, coming up to the final pages of this issue, whilst I was reading this comic, I was just hoping that when Dr. Octopus approached the set of Spider-Man, that he would say something to his wife. You know, something witty like, hello dear, nice to see you, or something like that. And he actually did it, and I thought that was brilliant. Now, one of the most hilarious things is that Spider-Man was actually sat up there watching them film the Spider-Man movie for hours. Just kind of sitting on the side of the building watching them. But of course, it's a good job that they did, because Dr. Octopus turned up and of course Spider-Man could jump in. And we got this epic final page of Spider-Man and Doc Ock facing off, just staring at each other. And it really looks like something out of a video game, and it looks awesome. I'm probably going to use that as the thumbnail for this video because it looks so good. But that's actually where the issue comes to a close. So what did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, because I'm going to be giving this issue a 9 out of 10 again. Seriously, Gwen Stacy dealing with all these emotions and all this craziness going around is just so good, and we're getting to know Dr. Octopus on a personal level, like a very personal level. Like, I don't think we've actually been into Dr. Octopus as a character this much. Well, at least until Superior Spider-Man happened and all that crazy stuff. But it's nice to see what Dr. Octopus has to deal with alongside just the standard being a villain sort of stuff. And we also get to see his motivation. That is his wife. Like, his wife ruining his reputation is his motivation for breaking out of prison, and there's seriously nothing better than that. So obviously in the next coming issues we're going to be seeing more of that, but the final cliffhanger for issue 57, the ending of issue 57, is one major cliffhanger, so look out for that, guys, because we're about to come up to it. So anyway, that is the end of this review, guys. Now if you want to know what I'm reviewing next, or when a video is being uploaded, or whether you just want to talk to me, throw questions at me, whatever, then follow me on Twitter. And for staying up to date on all the comic book news and updates, follow me on Facebook. You can get early previews on there of comic books that are coming out. Miles Morales' new Spider-Man series is coming out soon, so I'm sure we'll probably get another preview soon, even though I've already previewed it like 3 times. And of course, the second issue of Spider-Man and Deadpool is going to be releasing soon as well, so we'll probably get a preview of that in the coming days, hopefully. But yeah, last but not least, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and I'll see you all next time.